Shahrazad Ali is here, and your kid goes to charter school also.
Yes, he does, and it's a wonderful one. I'm not going to give out the name because I don't want people to send all their little psychotic children over there. But it's a wonderful school, he's in.
All right, psychotic.
I want to keep it private.
There you go. All right, Shahrazad Ali, my guest, author of How Not to Eat Pork, Are You Still a Slave? The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man, Things Your Parents Should Have Told You, Urban Survival for the Year 2000, How to Tell If Your Man is Gay or Bisexual. Oh, boy, you got that, I tell you.
I tried to cover all the problems we got.
I tell you, you covered all the bases with those books, and you were saying, like, they did a parody on you In Living Color.
Oh, yes,
years ago.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
It really is. And I've been so blessed. The impact that I was blessed to make on this country, not only about the topic, but about how I dressed, how I talked, and just covering the entire gamut of the entertainment industry. And people are still asking for different shows. Mm-hmm. That was 21 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're still asking for the Donahue Show, and they certainly want the In Living Color, that parody. And that was a blessing, and it earned me the title of being the mother of the Black Book Explosion.
Oh, boy.
Now, that was, because prior to that time, the thing was that we didn't read. If you wanted to hide something, put it in a book from us. Yeah. And that black men didn't read. Well, the Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman, it disproved all of that.
Yes.
And if anybody wants to check that, you can go into the library and check every black book that's in there. Mm-hmm. And 95% of them came after the Black Man's Guide.
Oh, okay. All right. And there was some controversy behind the Black Man's Guide.
Well, there's been controversy, Lincoln, in everything that I tend to do. We live in a time, as I say, that if you tell the truth and give it to us straight, then people call it controversy.
Now, what was the controversy behind it? It was something about maybe a black man should sort of jack up the woman.
Listen, there's a young man out there in your lobby. That's the first thing he asked me about. Hey, tell me about that. I never seen him, but that's the one thing he remembered. From 21 years ago.
And why does everybody...
Well, I talked about the fact that we as black women were not respecting our men properly. We were not supporting them. We were keeping their fathers from them. Mm-hmm. We were not cleaning our houses properly. We were not cooking. And we were not dressing properly. Now, what I said then, which everybody was in such an uproar about, that, as you know, that's lightweight compared to the condition today. In fact, y'all wish we were still like that. The way we are now, So, and the controversy, which was taken, as I said, totally out of context, was just something that I don't want to talk about. Yeah. All that lead up.
Right, you don't want to talk about it.
Well, I'm sure we can count on somebody to call in about it, but that's really not my issue was that I was trying to say, that if we didn't get our act together regarding getting along, and they let me stay on the air for 2 or 3 years, as long as everybody in the audience was disagreeing and booing and throwing tomatoes or whatever they were doing, but the moment that black people started to calm down and listen what I had to say, they took me off. Because they're not going to let nobody in America put the black man and the black woman back together, because that would represent too much power.
Whoa. All right. 749-1230. 513 is the area code. Shahrazad Ali in the studio with us. Graduate of Taft High School.
Yes, I was senior class president down there, too.
Did they cheer for you when you graduated?
Yes, they did. Listen, and then I started at Xavier here, and then I studied at Playhouse in the Park. I started to be an actress.
Really?
But y'all kept getting on my nerves. I said, I better write.
You had to.
I had to do that. All right.
All right, let's go to the telephones if you got questions. Now, before we go to the phone, the book, Are You Still a Slave? How do you know if you're still a slave?
Well, that's a test book. It comes wrapped in plastic, so nobody can just open it and try to read it real quick and not take it seriously. But it's a series of questions and 2 tests that help you determine how much are you still acting like a slave even without a slave master. We refer to our slave history, but I don't think we really realize just how much of an impact that has had upon our behavior, the way we think, how we do things. So that book helps us to see how much are we still acting like a slave. That was really put into us, and we've never really been debriefed. We've never really even grieved. We talk about it,
Yeah,
but we haven't really got in touch with that experience enough to put it behind us.
And we blame a lot of the things today on slavery.
You know,
and sometimes I say,
no, it is. Oh, no, a lot of it is based upon that, and it's based upon the same group of slave masters. This is just their great-grandchildren who are now the slave masters, and they're dressed up, and they got on suits, and they talk in a different language, but a lot of that is. You remember back in, I guess it was in the 60s, was that in the 80s? When those people, whenever Carter was in the presidency.
Yeah, that was in the 80s.
In the 80s, they took those people in Iran, and they put them in isolation for 440 days.
Right, and soon as Reagan became president, they let him go.
But still, that was 440 days. Well, today, those people are still getting benefits. They're still getting therapy for whatever they needed for 440 days. So what do you think we need after 440 years?
Yeah, okay, you make a good point. You make a point. Let's go to the telephones. D, you're on the line with Shahrazad Ali.
Oh, my God. And such a privilege, Miss Ali, to talk with you.
Well,
I wanted to ask Lincoln, I heard you the last time you were on his show saying that you had moved back to the tri-state, and I was wondering how come you hadn't been on the show, so I'm so glad to hear your voice again. Miss Ali, I used to watch you on different talk shows and stuff, but one sticks out. I remember you were on the Phil Donahue show, and the topic was interracial dating, and they had a couple in the audience who were, you know, the guy was black and the woman was white, and she started crying as she was talking to you. Do you remember that episode on his show where
Yes, ma'am, I remember it.
Okay,
I have copies of, I'm the one person, I have copies of every show I ever did. I did Donahue 4 or 5 times. But I do remember that, and I remember her crying, and,
Yes, I love what you told her. But I have a couple questions. I'm a little nervous here talking with you, but because I love how straightforward you are with everything you say and do.
Yes.
I want to ask you, do you still wear your head wrap?
The crowns, yes, ma'am, I still wear the
got
crowns.
one on now.
Yeah. You know,
That's
see,
beautiful.
one of our problems is that everything that's connected to our history, we treat it as a trend. It's a passing fad. And so, no, now we 22 years later, I still dress the same. I was dressing like that before I became out in the public. And so, yes, ma'am, I still wear my crowns. I have it on today. And thank you for asking.
Yes, ma'am. And my second question to you is, do you still have the same views about the interracial dating? And I have one more question for you, and then I'll hang up and listen, Ms. Shahrazad. Our black women, you know, the young women, Miss Ali, you know, they are putting their children in grave danger here all the time. You know, they're making bad choices in their men, and these men are killing the children. I'm wondering, Miss Ali, your views and what do you think can be done about these things? And I'll hang up and listen. Thank you so much.
For your call,
said, OMG. Oh, my God.
All right.
Okay. Well, the first question that she asked before I get to the letter was about, are my views the same about interracial dating and interracial marriage? Things have changed drastically in that area, as we know. Change doesn't always mean better. Change just means different. And so things are different now. And as a result of school integration, our children have been thrown into these situations together. And that's one of the reasons that white people practiced separation for as long as they could. Because once you put children in the informal atmosphere of school and the playground and the lunchroom, they are going to mate. They're going to get together. And so it has been a terrible trick. And unfortunately, the black boys, like their black fathers and black grandfathers, when they get white fever, when they get exposed to that, it's hard to pull them back. They don't care what kind they get. They just want them, some of that white skin, you know. And it's unfortunate. And now, of course, we have black people suggesting that we as black women, if we can't find a black man, or if all our black men are so-called unsuitable, then we should go to white men. We should go to the people who look like our former slave masters and really play that role out at home or something. And so, I still feel the same, and I'm against it. And that's one of the reasons. I have a brilliant son, her son that we were talking about. And everywhere I go, people say, you ought to put him in this school, put him in that school. But I'm not getting ready to put him with no bunch of little white girls so he could come home and tell my mom I didn't change my mind. I want one now. And he's just 12. I'm not going to have it. So no.
Well, what if when he gets grown and out in the world by himself and he comes back?
Well, when I say that, I mean 15, 16,
Yeah.
or 17. I'm not talking about as an adult. Of course, he can go where he wants to.
Yeah.
But there's two things I'm not going to have in my house. I'm not going to have any child come to my home that I have birthed or raised who is eating pork. You're not going to eat the pig in front of me. You're not going to eat no filthy hog after what I have taught you. And you're not going to bring in nobody from another nationality. You're not going to bring no white woman in talking about, no, I really love her. Then you'll take it somewhere else. See, this is another confusion we have in our community. There is no such thing as unconditional love. God don't have unconditional love. You do right or you go to hell. You got to do the right thing. You do right or you go to jail. There's no unconditional anything in this country or in any other country if you want to have a civilized population who obeys the rules.
On that note, we'll take a break and we'll come back. Shahrazad Ali, Black Lion, Ebony, EMT, Montez, all holding on. We'll give you a chance to jump on board and talk to Shahrazad Ali after these messages. 12:30, the buzz of Cincinnati.
Shahrazad Ali. You seen her on Donahue.
And it's every black man's right to slap a black woman in the mouth.
You've seen her on Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh, my. A black woman should not complain about saying her black man. Don't deny, you denying. See,
And you've seen her on Farm Report.
furthermore, if a black hog wants to keep his side together, he should slap his black child in the mouth when she needs it. Don't deny it.
She's Shahrazad Ali, the author of The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. You've read her book. Now, get her new how-to video. This easy to follow step-by-step guide will make you, once again, the king of your domain. Find out if you have what it takes with this simple quiz from part 1 of her video, Lines of Communication.
Hey, babe.
Is it 6 o'clock already?
You know it.
Oh, boy, you know little Jake went and blew up his Ninja Turtle in the microwave today. And then Aquanetta twisted and broke her ankle trying to do that bone dance. So, I had to rush her to the hospital.
So I got no dinner.
Now, what would you do in this situation? A, take her out to a nice restaurant. B, have dinner at your girlfriend's. Or C, give her an open-handed slap in the mouth. The answer, of course, is C. A good slap in the mouth will train your black woman not to put her trivial concerns over your needs. Situation number 2. Your wife finds out you're having an affair.
With my own sister?
Look,
What do you give your wife? A dozen long-stem roses. B, the necklace you were going to give your girlfriend. Or C, an open-handed slap in the mouth. Now, if you said C, you're well on your way to becoming king. Now, here's the tough one. Your wife does something nice. And I say it's tough because a black woman ain't going to never do nothing nice for a black man. She's sneaky, and if she does something nice, it's a trick. Watch it.
Hey, baby, I got you 2 tickets to the Lakers game.
let me see those.
Do you A, thank her and ask her if she'd like to join you? B, thank her and take your girlfriend? Or C, give her an open-handed slap in the mouth? The answer is B and C. Before you take your girlfriend, remember this. An unexpected slap never hurts. Now, if you answered any of these questions correctly, you're ready to move on to part 2, putting a man back in manhandling, featuring actual demonstrations by real experts such as Mike Tyson and Ike Turner. Order my video, A Black Man's Rights, Lefts, and Uppercuts. Make your wife buy it today. If she hesitates, you know what to do.
Hey, I was watching
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah? Well, you're gonna be.
Unbelievable.
Well, I want to thank you, Lincoln. I really want to thank you for that. Okay.
In Living Color. Boy, it's been a long time ago. But, boy, you're huge. I mean, when they do a parody on you in Living Color. All right, let's go back to the telephone. Shahrazad Ali is my guest. And Ebony, you have a question.
Oh, I was waiting for Black Lion to go first. But anyway, hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
That's good. I was calling to see, do you have any CDs or like old cassettes?
Oh, this is wonderful. You mentioned that. Yes, ma'am. I have all of the shows. And we'll give the number out later on where you can call to order them. I don't have a website anymore. Somebody kept hacking it and just kept taking it down and selling the videos in Peru and China and everything. I couldn't have even put my stuff up. But my new movie video DVD that's out is called Hidden Colors. Now, when it came out back in the fall, of course, it came out in 3 or 4 theaters across the country, actually 6. Some brothers out of L.A. produced this, and we couldn't hardly give it away after that. But now that the people that steal your videos and reproduce them and put them on bootleg, now that they have it in the streets, it is very, very popular. It's really hot, and it's called In Hidden Colors, and it's starring me, Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Booker Coleman, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and Tariq Nasheed out of L.A. And it is wonderful. It is the story of our history and how the truth has been kept from us. And it gives all of the examples. And Lincoln, I brought this one for you. I'm going to bless you with this.
Oh, well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate
This is how life goes. If you ain't got no money, you can't get nothing. But as soon as you get some money, people give you everything. So I'm going to bless you with that
people
one.
have asked me to watch this video.
Yes, sir, and you need to watch it. I'm glad they have told you. You really must watch it now that I'm here.
All right, I'll check it out.
All right.
All right, Ebony, anything else?
Yeah, and with you, like the different issues that you had to deal with over the years, like what sustained you to move towards the future?
What has sustained me,
Right.
knowing that the things that I was trying to teach and impart to our people was the truth. And that the truth does not change. The times may change, but there are certain universal principles that govern everything. And those have been the principles that I have tried to teach about, tried to instill in our mothers, our fathers, so that we can be a better people and survive despite all of the hardships of living in this ex-slave society.
Oh, okay.
All right, Ebony.
Okay,
Got to run. Thanks for your call. Let's move along. Let's see. Looks like Montez. Montez, you're on with Shahrazad Ali. Montez.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're on.
Oh, hey, yeah, Lincoln. I would just want to talk about my little case that was going on or whatever.
Did you call to talk to Shahrazad Ali? Thanks for your call. Unbelievable. EMT, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Lincoln? How you doing, Miss Ali?
I'm great.
Good, good. Hey, I just want to, you sit next to the #1 guy who thinks that we should not get reparations. I want you to turn to that bald-headed man and tell him why you think we should get reparations. I'm going to hang up and listen, okay?
All right, I said we're not going to get them.
No, we're not. Well, I haven't really ever written about reparations. They're having a reparations conference in Philadelphia on June the 23rd. So anybody who's interested in going down there and find out why we're not going to get them all to go to the convention. But however, white people think that they have already given us reparations, and they've given it to us in sequences of the form of welfare, unemployment, disability, and food stamps. They think they've already given us reparations. In fact, they complain about the fact that they keep giving us money and we just keep becoming more dependent upon the system. And I don't have a problem with black people being dependent upon the system, because every white business in America is dependent upon the system. Everybody play the system and use the system. Enron, Chrysler, you name the company, they have used and abused the system, and the taxpayers have had to pay for that. So that's the only reparations we're going to get. The only person who could have got that for us is Johnny Cochran. He might have been able to get the issue on the table, and we used to discuss it a lot of times and, some ideas about it. But other than that, there's no one else who can bring that case in such a convincing way as to prove it. And on top of that, black people have already been convinced that the first thing they say when somebody say about reparations, well, the white people say, well, even if we gave you some money, we wouldn't give it to you, we would give it to y'all for education. They can't give us nothing that they owe us and then tell us how we supposed to spend it. The biggest cost in business is employment, personnel. And we supplied free personnel for over 400 years for all of them to get on their feet. And anytime we talk about doing anything for ourselves, then they say, well, we don't owe it to you, you don't deserve it, and it's the same old, same old. So, no, we're never going to get those kind of reparations, even though we continue to ask for it.
All right, we'll take another break. We'll come back. Shahrazad Ali laying it out there. She never bites her tongue, that's for sure. 1230 WDBZ, the buzz of Cincinnati, the Lincoln Ware Show till 2 o'clock this afternoon. And we've got Shahrazad Ali in the studio. She's been around the talk show circuit in the past, and She finally made it around to the Lincoln Ware Show. Now she's made it. She can say she made it now, huh?
I'm finally successful.
All right. Let's go to, oh boy, we might as well get this out of the way. Let's go to the Black Lion. Black Lion, you're on with Shahrazad Ali.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
All right.
Greetings to the Queen. Hello, Queen. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank Allah. How you doing,
I've
brother?
been looking for you for a long time, and I knew you moved back to the city. I wanted to get some videos, an interview. I want to just sit and talk with the Queen. I guess you can get my number from Lincoln Ware, and the video you gave him is going to fall on deaf ears. So, Lincoln, you watch it, give it to me.
Yeah, right.
Right on over. Just like the African dirt you brought to Africa. You passed it right on to me.
Yeah.
Give me that, too.
Uh-huh. All right.
Sister, Ali?
Yes, sir.
I pride myself on being an African eccentric, a black militant. I pride myself on calling this radio station and talking about the pink people.
I hear you.
Of slavery and these brothers and sisters on the political plantation. It's sad, sister. And you've been in the game longer than me, and I know your grind is hard, because mine is even harder, because these fools got money now. So they ain't trying to hear it. You have a good day, Queen.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Black Lion.
What do you say when you hear, you listen every day, when you hear the Black Lion call, what do you say to yourself when you hear it?
I'm going to have to tell you, sometimes he be right on. But he, like many of us, he's before his time, in the sense that things have not got bad enough for us out here yet for somebody to hear a person like Black Lion. But one day, people will be going to him to find out, okay, this is what happened. What do we do now?
Lord help us when that day comes.
That's right. And that's who y'all going to be praying to. Whatever God you believe in when that day comes. And it is fastly approaching. I want to touch on one thing that sister had said who had called earlier about the sisters leaving their children with these brothers. I wrote about that, like I said, and I talked about it, and it was all strange. That was another thing I got jumped on for. But they bring these men home, they meet them in the bar, bring them home, let them spend the night, get into bed with them, and then get up the next day and leave them with their children.
Yeah.
Now, the other problem with that is that many of our men, while they may not be that interested in dealing with children at all, they are interested in videos. And you got 183 million people a day playing these videos, trying to live vicariously and trying to make an achievement in something. It's a way to try to accomplish something without having to go out and go to work and stuff. And so we have to be very careful, because since the male ego today, the black male ego, is so fragile, and we are grasping on to any little thing for accomplishment. When a child come up and interrupt a man, or even a 17, 18-year-old boy when they're winning in a video game, they knock them out. They turn around, kill them, stomp them. And it's just about trying to pretend that the accomplishment of winning a video game is a real accomplishment in life. And then on top of that, 40% of the people that's playing video games is over 50 years old.
Wow.
Now, that's the study. Okay? So now that's a part of us, because many of our people are not, out in the world working. I asked a little brother living next door to me the other day. I said, listen, do you all play Monopoly, anything like that? Because they be sitting out there just staring at the wall. I said, you all play Monopoly? They like they 12, 13, 14. He said, yeah, I know how to play it, but it takes too long. See? Any kind of exercise. I said, well, you ought to want to play a game that teach you how to earn money and own real estate instead of wanting just how to use a sword, which you ain't gonna never do and ain't gonna never get a dime for.
now, you probably heard me. I do have a problem with these women letting these guys watch their kids, and so it seems like every week some kid has been beaten to death by,
it's terrible.
and it just keeps happening over and over again.
But this is another issue too. Look at the rage in us.
Yeah.
Baby don't have no value no more. I tell you what has happened now. Diaper rash ointment sells more now than diapers. Because women not buying a lot of diapers no more for their babies. And whenever women not buying diapers, diaper rash ointment go up 10, 20%. So white people gonna make money whatever we do. Either way you go, they're gonna make some money off of it. But that's a terrible thing, because that means that women are putting their hair and nails ahead of buying a diaper that you dispose of for their babies. The babies got to wear the diaper longer. Nobody there to change it. Just the whole bit. Some of the babies going back to not wearing no diaper at all. But that's okay with the white people over here, because they have expanded into Africa and to pollute their rivers by selling them disposable diapers. So over here now they're counting on the diaper rash ointment for our poor little babies.
Oh boy. Wanda, you're on with Shahrazad Ali.
How are you today, Lincoln?
All right.
And Miss Ali, I just love you to pieces.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Let me tell you something. Last weekend, I saw The Hidden Colors.
Oh, good, good. I was telling Lincoln.
Listen, it's the most wonderful video DVD
Thank you.
our people could ever
Yes,
watch.
it really is. Not just complimented, but that's the truth,
It
Lincoln.
really is. And ever since, do you know, I just got off the phone yesterday. I called a 1-800 from it, and I couldn't get, they didn't have it. And then I called.
Well, I got it.
Well, look, we'll let her give a number right now. Give that number.
Okay,
out.
let me give the number. Now, listen, when you all send your number, I don't need no long testimony. Just give your name and your address clearly, or your name and phone number, and we'll get back to you and get a copy to you. And that number is 221-2411.
2411.
Real easy, 221-2411.
I need
And I have copies of The Hidden Colors.
I got to have it. Now, is it the same as The Untold History of People of the Amborgino?
The name of it, the name of the video is Hidden Colors.
Okay, but all that is considered within it.
Did you?
Colors.
Well, if you saw it, yes, ma'am. It's in the
That's
Hidden
right.
Colors.
Exactly.
Well, it's that same one.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy that they showed that on TV, and I've been waiting to see it again. But I got to have a DVD.
All right.
And I shall give you a call.
Yes,
all right,
ma'am.
Wanda.
Thank you ever so much.
Write that number down, 221-2411, and Shahrazad will call you back and get you a copy of
Somebody will call you back, but we'll get it to you right.
All right, let's go to JJ. JJ, how you doing?
I'm excellent, Lincoln. How are you and your guests doing?
Doing great.
Great.
I had a question on the reparations. Who would be responsible for paying that? Would that be everybody in the United States, or would that be collective? How would that be done, in your opinion? How would you like to see that done?
Well, since the federal government sanctioned slavery, and since the entire banking systems, most of the older insurance companies, and since the white people who are descendants, or even not descendants of them, are still benefiting from the white privilege that has resulted from the success of the slave trade, then it should come from the government. And who should pay into the government? It would be probably all of the people. But then, when something happens, I know it wasn't you, right?
Well, what would you say to somebody like myself, that their family, and I have documents, and there's a tombstone in Lake Erie, where my family was forced into the British Navy in a Revolutionary War, and 2 of them jumped ship while the other one got killed and swam ashore. That's how my family got
Sounds like the Middle Passage.
So what would you say to somebody in my situation or something like that, that had I wasn't going to be in this country if it wasn't for
as I said, but you benefit from the white privilege. You and all your children and grandchildren are going to continue to benefit from the white privilege of being white in America. It would be like saying, listen, a lot of my background is Indian, but it doesn't matter because my skin is brown, so I get the same penalty as the rest of the Negroes in America, and I have to still pay that same black tax in a sense that everybody else has.
Some of the things you're saying, wouldn't one consider that being hate instead of trying to uplift your people, say, hey, let's
wouldn't you consider what happened to us being hate?
And work.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Say that last part.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you consider that hate? But wouldn't it be better served if everyone got educated instead of okay, in the white community, we consider the people in the trailer park, some of the way that they behave, I look at it as shameful. And then you have the same thing in other communities you might call the ghetto. I mean,
you might have looked at white people and considered them sinful, but you didn't tar and feather them and hang them and beat them to death and do all of the things that have happened to our people in this country. And if you think you're going to get out of accepting responsibility for how you and the rest of the white people have treated us, it's not going to work with me. No, I'm not teaching hate. I'm teaching the truth. This is how you all do. You all practice hate. You practice hate against us. You've done it for over 500 years. And then every time we say anything that we think is to try to defend ourselves or to ask for some mercy, then you all start talking about, don't you think you're teaching hate? Well, I'm one of them black people that don't care if you think it's teaching hate. Because
So
you
when
all
you
certainly
say
haven't
somebody's
taught love.
family that
Y'all ain't
dropped
taught no love. When did y'all teach love? Love for your own self.
Shouting somebody down is not winning the argument. What do you say to somebody that their family, a great
Well,
woman
no, the
was
truth
killed in
I'm
a
talking is
civil...
winning the argument.
What about people that was killed in the Civil War that freed people? I mean, how do you justify? I mean, you say that we all kept
Well,
you down.
them 3 or 4 people we do honor. We honor them 3 or 4 people that freed us. We honor them.
All right.
You honor that. You honor the Civil War veterans. How?
I say that we honor them in the fact that if they worked with the Underground Railroad, if they tried to do something to help us, then we appreciate that. That's what I'm saying.
Would there be an exemption for somebody like Mike?
No, there is no exemption. And there's no exemption for me, and there's no exemption for you. No exemptions.
Thanks for your call, JJ. Let's move along. Let's go.
An exemption.
Yeah, right,
What you think this is? Silent taxi? No, ain't no exemption.
Trent, how are you? Trent, go ahead.
You want an exemption.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Walaikum salam.
Hey,
See, this was going good for a while.
I've been watching that Hidden Colors. I also watched the Exposed DVD that you was a part of about the African queens and goddesses.
Oh, yes, sir.
I've been trying to, please. I didn't hear you.
I said, yes, I saw that too. Now, that one about the African queens, somebody came to me, a good friend of mine, and said, listen, I just heard a video, and they got a sister on that sound just like you. I mean, she got you down. I mean, you got to hear her. She sounds just like you. So I said, well, bring it to me. So they brought me the DVD. I said, well, no wonder it sounds just like me. That is me. Somebody done stole my voice off of a radio show, as they do, and they put me on the DVD link, and they put my picture on it. I don't get a dime.
Are you kidding me?
No, and they do me worse than Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I've been watching that Exposed for the past, I'd say, about 3 months, and I've gotten it to a whole lot of people. I've been trying to get one to Lincoln so he can understand that he is an African man, whether he wants to accept the fact or not. And I wish if you had just a little bit of time to expound on that, you know, and help our people that's listening understand the task that we have in front of us, the task of just staying alive as people in this country.
Well, we do have.
We're about to become extinct.
Yes, sir. We do have a big task in front of us. Right now, in places like Highland Park, Michigan, the electric utility company has repossessed 1,400 streetlights to sell them for scrap metal to pay off the utility bill in the city. And a lot of other cities, they're taking down stop signs and traffic signs. They'll stop having any misdemeanor cases in court because it takes too much money to keep charging y'all over and over with the same thing.
And I saw where low-level marijuana offenders in New York are going to get a
right.
break now.
That's right. Y'all going to be able to self-medicate yourself and not get busted as long as you're not out there trying to sell a pound and carrying that around in your car. You know, so, you know, these things are changing, and it's all because of the financial thing. We living in a terrible time.
Hold that thought right there. I need to take a break, and then we'll come back with more of Shahrazad Ali on 1230 The Buzz. 1230 WDBZ, The Buzz of Cincinnati. Lincoln Ware with you. Shahrazad Ali is my guest. We got 1,000 text messages coming in. I'll try to get to some of them. Plus, we've got Omar, Wesley, Anthony, and G holding on. Someone says, get 'em, Black Queen. Lincoln, I love her. She's speaking the truth. Lincoln, she is so deep. I love her. Amen. How much for the videos? And Miss Ali, can you spell your name out for me, please? Spell your name.
Okay, Shahrazad. S-H-A-H-R-A-Z as in zebra, A-D. Shahrazad. And Ali is A-L-I. And my name means tranquility. And that's what I work for, Lincoln, to be tranquil.
All right.
But y'all won't let me do that. No, so I'm still coming into my name, right?
And here's one. Miss Ali should be on the show twice a month. Black Lion says the same thing, but her style and delivery is a lot better. I like your style. That's from Tony and Roseline.
Thank you.
I'd like to know what your guest thinks of our president's biracial background.
I don't think anything of it. All of us got a biracial background. All of us got a biracial background. of somewhere where sometime, either by force or today voluntarily, we have integrated sexually.
Here's another one. Hallelujah. Tell it, Miss Ali. Our men have no sense of loyalty and make horrible excuses to why they abandoned the black woman. Sister Ali, continue to speak the truth, power, peace. All right, Lincoln, you don't understand slavery because you govern white affairs and seek favors from your slave master and their children.
We all do. Everybody govern white affairs. We don't have nothing of our own, you know? The white people that own Kroger, the white people that own the gas and electric company, the water company. Listen, now this is an important thing. Let me mention this before you go on. This is an important thing. One of the reasons we're getting ready to have problems, Lincoln, is because we don't have a food chain. Let me explain. The Caucasians have a food chain. They import food in. The Asians, you know, you go in their stores, they have their own foods. In India, the Indians, they send theirs over here. The Latinos, they send stuff in from South America, Puerto Rico, and everything. Even the Africans, they go up in there, they got rice, beans, meat stuff stacked up. Yeah. Well, where do you go for the food we got? Where the food we claim?
Well,
we don't. We're dependent upon everybody else. Yeah. And if they close the door, no amount of money we have, are they forced to sell us? They don't have to give us anything. We don't have a food chain because we've been so busy squabbling and fighting about what white people are doing. We have not done anything for ourselves. And so if we do run into a bad time, if they do martial law, we don't have anywhere to get food or water from because we have not set up an importing situation where we can have the food sent directly to us like the other nationalities.
All right. Someone says D is a lesbian. The homosexual agenda is putting our children in jeopardy. What do you think about that?
I don't think anything about that. The last thing, I'm getting ready to tell y'all, the last problem we're getting ready to have is one of sex. So however anybody having sex, that ain't going to be the issue. It's just not going to be the problem.
Right.
You know, I tell people about relationships.
Yeah.
Nobody breaks up over sex. And it's as important as all of us think it is, it ends up not being that kind of an issue. It's just not the issue. And in regard to what I feel about the homosexual agenda that's out here, it's like any of the other agendas that they have pushed through on us. And we copy everything they do. So if they want to be gay, we certainly want to be gayer. You know, and do that. And as I said, the only problem I have with it for the men and the women is that the men are not really trying to get away from women, which is why they pretend that a rectum is a vagina. The women not really trying to get away from men and a penis, which is why they strap on a dildo or do something like that. So it's a bunch of fakeness in there somewhere, because that ain't like they really hate the opposite sex. They just don't want them to look like that or something.
You don't think they were born that way?
They might have been, because of the genetically modified food that we're eating, and because of all of the different other bacteria in the water and different things. It's very possible that we have a lot of mutations of our people. You got people born crazy, so why wouldn't I believe you got people born who want to have sex with somebody that look like them? I mean, this is just goes straight across the board. You got people born cross-eyed. You got people born with cerebral palsy. We have all kind of defects, and that certainly could be considered in a civilized society as one of the defects, because if we stayed with that idea forever, then society would be wiped out in less than 1 billion years.
Oh, boy. Anthony.
Yes, sir.
You have a question?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say that thank you for having Sister Ali on. Sister Ali, I love you with all my heart.
Well, thank you. I'm so blessed. I have so many black men tell me they love me, and I love y'all. You're the best man on earth, and everybody want to use you for something.
Yes, ma'am. I met you back on Jerry Springer show.
I was on Jerry Springer before he went crazy.
And he was on my show this morning. He called in.
I wish I'd have been here to see him. Oh, wow.
He called in, yeah.
Oh, okay, he called in, yeah.
I just wanted to let you know that the Hidden Colors video has done so much for me and my life and my family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I thought I was up on history.
That's right. That's right.
And I wanted to let you know, I can't say the school name right now, but it's considered being a part of the school curriculum.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They are using it in several of the schools in a lot of different counties here. I have found that out. So I'm so glad to hear you say that, because that's what we got to get, something inside of us that sober us up. Like this morning, what I'm doing here, this is kind of like a mini seminar. This is not just a radio interview. We're having a seminar here. in-house where I am trying to impart some new information to put everybody on a different page. We're sitting around worried about the wrong thing. We got to start worrying about survival.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to let you know that this video is doing a major works with our people. And I also wanted to, I was doing some background information. I seen that a Hidden Colors 2 was coming out. Do you know when that is?
Well, we're working on it now, but no, I don't know when they're going to put it out. The producers will know that, but we are working on it now. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, and then my last thing is, are you still doing speaking engagements, and how can I contact you on that?
Well, I try not to. Well, I really need to. See, this is one of the reasons that I do it very rarely, but the reason I do the radio is because I can reach hundreds of thousands of millions of people at one time. I need to talk to a whole bunch of y'all at once. I can't sit in the room anymore and talk to 500 people.
Yeah.
You know, it just is not conducive because the voice and the information I'm giving out is not anywhere else today. And I'm not talking old school, and you got people that say, yes, you're talking old school. No, I'm talking today's school. I'm talking right now, right today, in your face and in your house. That's what I'm talking.
All right, Anthony, thanks for your call. All right, let's go to Omar, Cabeza Lingua.
Yeah, Bovanchi. Hello, my sister Queen. How are you?
I'm fine. Praise be to Allah.
I'm telling you, we had just got Hidden Colors on Media Bridges here on the cable channel this week. Just started airing it, and I was talking yesterday to one of our, they said, dedicated brothers, Al Sharpton. I was talking to him about Goodbye Uncle Tom, because and I also would have said something to him about the Holocaust, how the Jewish community do not let their people forget about Holocaust. And see, the problem today with the young people, when you tell them something about slavery, they identify with roots, and roots is nothing compared to Goodbye Uncle Tom, to really show the significance and what slavery really did to us, to really get an understanding, because they have no fear no more.
Well, this is what I know about that, brother. And I've seen, of course, the Goodbye Uncle Tom and all of those. But it's not our school system's responsibility to keep our history in front of our children. And most of our children don't know anything about roots. My son, who was 12, he took roots to school. The children had never heard of it.
Right.
So they're not teaching that. It's uncomfortable for the children. In fact, we had one teacher that said a few things to some children in my son's classroom that I ended up going to the school and doing my own slave presentation.
Really?
Because they had lied so and tried to change that around. But it's very hard for white people to teach about something that condemns self.
Yeah.
See, they're connected to each other in the sense that they don't even want to talk about some white people that wasn't them. See, like the guy called in who wanted the exemption.
He wanted the exemption.
Yeah, he wanted the exemption. They don't feel exempt. All of them feel like if you're talking about other white people, you're talking about me too. And so that's hard for them to teach about slavery. And so I went into class to teach about it, and I don't have to tell you, that teacher never could look at me in the face again. Never could look at me again. I had to watch it the whole year.
We got a break for news. We're going to hold you over. Can you stay around?
Oh, yes, sir. I came prepared. Because like I said, this is our...
1230 The Buzz.
WDBC Cincinnati.
A Radio 1 station. You're listening to the rebroadcast of the Lincoln Ware Show on 1230 AM WDBZ. The Buzz of Cincinnati. 1230 The Buzz.
Living 24/7.
24/7. 24 hours a day. 7 days a week.
Powered by Black Planet Radio. Cincinnati's talk station.
1230 AM. The Buzz of Cincinnati.
1230 WDBZ. We're the Buzz of Cincinnati. Lincoln Ware with you. Shahrazad Ali is my guest, and boy, we've been communicating with each other since when? Back in the 90s.
Yeah.
We when you were in Philadelphia, then you left the country.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm not in the country. I'm out. What the hell are you doing?
Well, you know, at one time, Nelson Mandela and them, they had invited me to South Africa to come and speak. I was going to go down there and round him up.
Yeah.
But I didn't go. because I could be considered a political prisoner by this government, and they could have taken my passport, and then I'd have been stuck down there trying to figure out what to do with that. Okay. So I said, no, I need the Hilton and stuff. I'm going to go and stay over here.
All right. And give the phone number where people can order your books and the DVDs. And
221-2411.
That's 221-2411. Call that number, and they'll get you together. And they can even get the books also. I
have some of them, but we're putting that order together. So get your name on the waiting list right now for those. But we do have the hidden color DVDs. I have that in stock.
All right. G.
Hey, Lincoln, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Hello, sister. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, brother.
Good. Hey, it's always good to hear your voice whenever you're in town or on the air. We appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I've got 2 questions. Could you tell me what did you think about Steve Coakley?
Oh, he was a dear friend of mine. You know, he was out there talking about the boule long before any of us knew about it. And the Illuminati and everything.
Every time you call here.
I mean, he was just absorbed with that. But, you know, being out here on the road is not an easy life. That's why I don't do it anymore. I pull back because I'm raising my son. But if Steve was gone all the time, he didn't take care of his health. You know, he had health issues like most black men have. And those are the kind of things that we should be talking about. That so many of our people have heart disease and diabetes and high blood pressure and depression. Those are the 4 things mostly that we have. And I miss that brother. He was a dear associate of mine. I miss him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Second question, G.
Also, sister, what do you think about the guys in their pants hanging down to their ankles?
Oh, it's so absurd. It's so ridiculous. I watch them sometime up at the store, up at near Mitchell and Canara walking, and they have to actually walk wide-legged to hold those pants up.
Yeah, they do. They have to waddle.
Yes, they do. They waddle like that. And then if they put their hand in their pocket, I seen a guy bend over backwards to reach that far down to get to his back pocket. And that's so silly. Now, the other thing I'll tell you is that has changed a lot around the country. The brothers are not all doing that as much anymore. But because Cincinnati is a little bit behind, you know, they still walking down the street showing their underwear and all of that. Oh, it is just horrible. My son has playmates. I don't allow them in the yard or on the porch unless they pull their pants up.
Really?
I'm not having that kind of party. No. Pull your pants up like a man, and you can come up here. If you can't, then stay out there.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Mark. Mark.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking my call.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I caught the last half an hour of your show, and I just wanted to call in to say I disagree with a couple of the points that the sister making, with all due respect. You know, there's a lot of men out here that's patriarch that know about slavery, and young people know about it. It's the information age. But I think the problem is, I heard you talking about reparations. My thing is, if y'all didn't set up like the Jewish Defense League back then, our generation coming pushing that agenda now, it's kind of a little bit too late, because what we want is economic development. So my question is, where is y'all philanthropy toward the young people? You know, we gave...
I don't understand what you're saying. We said we didn't believe, we wasn't waiting on reparations.
That's my point. See, first of all, a woman's best quality is discretion, so be discreet. Now, my point is, during the Million Man March, we gave Farrakhan $1, which was $1 million, and ain't no return on that, ain't no discussions on that.
It wouldn't have mattered if y'all gave him 10 cents. You'd have still been complaining, because we don't trust each other with money. That's another problem we got.
All I'm just saying is that y'all, a lot of y'all that's been around 30 years in the game out there from different nonprofits.
I keep trying to give you the truth.
You don't.
That's all I have to give you.
I understand the truth. All I'm just saying is that I think a woman's quality is discretion. So whatever you do, you should be a little more discreet and be more factual, because everybody ain't caught up into the annals and the problems of slavery, because our reparations is our freedom now to do our own businesses, but it ain't no help from our own community.
Well, listen, brother.
We got money. What y'all gonna do about that economically? Y'all not dealing with that issue. Y'all pointing back to...
I'm sorry. I think you're talking to the wrong people. We have different financial entities and different businesses. I've been in several businesses and hired several black people over my years, and I know a lot of my friends are in business. So what is your complaint?
Time to be living, and it's the worst time ever in the world. This is a great time to be out here with the freedoms in America to do whatever we got to do.
Well, what do you do for a living?
Oh, I work hard.
What do you do?
I work hard. Whatever.
Who do you work for?
What do you do?
Oh, you in business for yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, that's good. You're doing something for yourself, and we appreciate that, brother. We thank you for sharing that with us, because a lot of us not able to do that. So you're doing a good thing. So what is your complaint? What are you mad because I got a loud voice? What you mad because I'm a woman and I'm a leader? What's your problem?
No, I'm just saying, don't point back to that. You know, that was classless of you. But anyway, that's you. Back to discretion. I'm just saying, there's some patriarchs out here that we see y'all running around like the chickens falling y'all head cut off as women, and you don't got to do that because it's going to be all right. We're some guys that's going to take care of that. You ain't
you listen. I know it ain't nothing better than a black man, so you preaching to the choir on that with me.
Matter of fact, you can't teach a black man how to be a man, so your whole argument is talking to these black brothers for the ones that run under their mothers.
I'm not trying to teach no man how to be no man, but I am trying to teach this boy how to be one. That has to start when you're a child. You can't wait till a man get grown and start trying to teach him how to be a man. So what I'm trying to do between my child's father and I, we are trying to put the certain principles in him and behaviors and beliefs so that he can be a stable adult man and not come on the radio talking silly.
And he seems like a very intelligent young man.
He's wonderful.
Yeah,
he's a blessing. He's a blessing.
All right.
So listen, thank you, brother, for sharing that with us.
Let's go. And he said you need to be a little more discreet. Huh? What does that mean? All right, let's go to Gene. Gene, how you doing? Gene. Yo, Gene. Once, twice, Gene. We're moving on. Let's go to Wesley. Wesley. Hello, Wesley. Okay, Wesley.
Well, you better hurry up, Wesley, because I'm being discreet now. You better hurry up and call in before it changes.
It may be a blessing Wesley wasn't there. Whitney.
How you doing, Lincoln?
Pretty good.
Did you guess?
Just fine.
What do you think about Tiger Woods? He called himself, not black. So what do you think about that? And I'll hang up and listen.
Well, we know that that's ridiculous. I think that by now, he may not tell us publicly, but he know he's black now. Oh, he know he's black, Tiger is kind of like our OJ in the sense that Tiger don't want us. He don't want me. He don't want my daughter, my granddaughter. He don't want none of us. But because I'm in the golf, I just want to see him just play.
Yeah.
He won the other Sunday. I was so happy just to see him win. So, we have that kind of distant love for each other. It's like all of the people that say, I love Malcolm X. No, we don't. If Malcolm was here, we wouldn't agree with him. We like a dead hero so that there's no accountability and nobody to check us or talk to us. That's the people we like, and that's the same way this country is, though, which is why they wait 20, 30, 40 years later to give them a postage stamp or something like that. Who would have ever thought that Malcolm X in America would be on a postage stamp the way he used to talk about this government and white people? Now, but yet he is.
Speaking of that, Elijah Muhammad, what do you think about Elijah Muhammad? We got a caller here that thinks he's circling the earth in the mothership up there.
Well, I think this. I think that if any of us are paying attention to the news, white people say that there's some things up in space that they don't always know what it is. They call them UFOs and different things. And so that's not something that we necessarily made up as a people. This is something that the people that most of y'all believe, whatever they say, have said, okay? And they say that there's some things up there. Some of them say they've been taking on different ships and everything. But then you got crazy people that say that they have gone on the ship and talked to the messenger. Well, our Elijah Muhammad, first of all, was not a liar. He is not somewhere hiding, saying, I'm going to pretend like I'm dead to see what the Negroes do. He already knew what we was going to do, nothing. And that's what has happened. But he gave us the only example of black people being in business as an organization, as a group, having stores and dry cleaners and airplanes and businesses. Now, he had us a food line, importing that fish from Peru. We did have that, but we don't have any of that anymore. We had some farms. We had a lot of different things where remember the brothers used to come through the community and sell the stuff door to door, and we would all buy the breads and everything. Well, we don't have that food chain anymore, as I was saying, so we have a problem with that. But I don't believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is alive somewhere. waiting to jump back out and say, oh, here I am. No, because he was not a liar. He didn't lie to us about the history. In fact, he's the only one that taught us the history. And most of y'all would have agreed with him and went with his program if he had not identified the open enemy.
Oh, boy. Victoria, Sister B.
Hey, Lincoln, where are you doing? And assalamu alaikum to the sister there, Sister Shahrazad Ali.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, listen, I'm so glad to hear your voice on here because I'm going to tell you, some days I just be thirsty for information and a real perspective. It gets a little heavy sometimes when I listen to my people. I feel like we're all over the map. My people are almost unrecognizable.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, as a sister who I do try to organize, you know, our community. I do try to teach. I try to reach out. Now I'm trying to reach out to the young folks because I'm just tired of dealing with old hats, really. And I'm looking at our children and the direction that they're going in. I've looked at some of the work Dr. Joy Leary DeGrew, Sister DeGrew has done, as well as yours. What is your perspective on this? I'm going, many nations of people have come and gone on the face of the earth. If we don't turn ourselves around, sister, I just want to get your thoughts. What do you think our race of people, our people are going to look like in several years from now? I'm really concerned about that. And one other thing, I will call the number. I'm going to hang up and listen to your answer. But I'm going to call your number because I want to get the DVD. I'm going to admit, I just bought the movie DVD, Hidden Colors, bootleg.
Yeah,
I didn't know what I was getting.
That's why everybody, like I said, now, the white people are not bootlegging my DVD. That's some other black people that'll see me and say, oh, Queen, I love you.
You know what? I'm going to get it. I'm going to call you today. And like I said, I'm going to get it. Because I didn't know that you were on there. The brother just said, sister, I know you. Here, you would want to check this out. And I just hadn't got a chance to watch it yet. That was about 2 weeks ago. And here you are. So it's a blessing. I'm going to call the number and I'm going to do the right thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Now I'm going to hang up and listen. But I really would like to get your perspective on you travel the world. You're here, especially here in Cincinnati. You know, we're like a dead people. Who are we today? I don't even know.
All right, hold on. Hang up, Sister B, and we'll get the answer after we take a break, and then we'll come back. Chris, John, Original Freddie, Dion. Sister B's line is available. Shahrazad Ali is our guest until about 12:30, 12:45, right here on 12:30. The Buzz. 12:30 WDBZ. We are the Buzz of Cincinnati. It's the Lincoln Ware Show till 2 o'clock. Coming up at 2, Reverend Al Sharpton. Keeping it real, Sharpton. Yes. Check him out. 4 o'clock today, the Sisters of Sister Speak. And then at 6 o'clock, it's Rob Redding right here on 12:30, the Buzz of Cincinnati. And someone says, that's the problem with my generation. Welfare has too many of us looking for a handout. Well, how do you? Oh, well, first of all, respond to Sister B first, and then we'll get that one.
Where are we going to be in the future? Well, right now, we have over 50 or 60% dropout rate in our schools. Mm-hmm. Our public schools are shutting down. The public education system is going to fail. It has already failed.
And that's why that mother was cheering so much when her son graduated.
Yes. Right. Well, you know, we over-exaggerate high school graduation like we do the prom. And so the high school graduation has turned into such a big deal sometimes that our children think they have completed the educational process, and they don't want to go to any further higher education of learning. And the same is with marriage. After our boys go to the prom, go in a limo, go to the hotel, dress up, take the flowers, and do all of that, they think they already been through the wedding ceremony, so they don't want to get married, you know. So a lot of it has gotten exaggerated that, you know, our children think, well, I've been there, done that, you know, don't want to do it. But the school dropout rate is very important. The school dropout rate affects the tax base of a community, the political and social stability of every neighborhood. Now, this is all a plan because the number of educated people in America has to be reduced because the jobs are no longer there. And so there has to be a detour, and they have to take the bottom and detour them because they're already on their way, you know. So they either go into the prisons where Ohio getting ready to guarantee them a 95% fill rate so that they can, you know, get somebody to take over the privatization of the prisons, or they go straight from high school into jail. Some type of system where they can really count it down on where our children are going. But that's going to be the problem of trying to figure out what to do. We got all these children matriculating out of high school, 4-year colleges, 2-year colleges, master's degrees, law degrees, medical degrees, or whatever. Why there's no work for all of these people? They just tons and tons of them pouring into the streets, all go and look for jobs in the same places. Now, the jobs have been sold out by these big companies who wanted to have a new slave that they didn't have to pay unemployment to. They don't have to pay health care. They don't have to pay retirement. You know, when you call on the phone to some of these different businesses, you get people. I was talking to a guy over in Egypt. I said, oh, y'all the new slave. You in Egypt now. I said, what's your name? He said, my name is Michael. Ain't nobody in Egypt named Michael with that kind of heavy accent. I said, please. I said, y'all the new slave, huh? So they have them over there working. They don't have to use the slave over here. Plus, we done got dissatisfied. Dissatisfaction produced change. And so rather than be bothered with us like that, they just have kicked us to the wayside. Now, real quick, Lincoln, let me tell you when that started. That started in the 80s. When all of the trade schools in America shut down. They were teaching the young men auto mechanics, refrigeration, air conditioning, carpentry, a lot of things like that. They were teaching them that so that when a boy got out of school, he knew how to do something. You know, he went, and a lot of times the only reason the boys came to school is because they could go to shop. And they enjoyed that. The women were being taught home economics so that they could cook instead of eating in the McDonald's and Burger King, feeding their children the same sugar stuff, all of that every day. And the women were taught sewing, how to construct a garment. We don't have a woman, probably, you know, too much anymore, young girls that know how to do any of that kind of stuff. And so all of that was a plan to reduce the education, the number of educated people in America, and so that there would not be any competition with little white children for the jobs that they gonna get, because our children, now they say, are not qualified. Because they failed to qualify them, and we as parents, being disconnected from the educational system, being dumb as hell, most of us, we didn't push education on our children. And so what is a child supposed to do with just a diploma today if he does graduate? If he's not going to college, and if nobody has that money and can't come up with it, what is that child supposed to do for the rest of their life?
You're right. You make, I mean, you can't argue with anything you just said. You can't argue with it. All right, let's go to Chris. Chris, what do you say?
Well, that's where the parents have to have the responsibility to teach their kids a trade or hard work. You know, there's more to it than the school just teaching your kid everything and then putting them out to the world. And then the whole idea of capitalism is that if you benefit somebody in a job, you'll get the job. And me as an employer, I don't care what color somebody is, if they can help make me money, I'm going to hire them. If it costs me money or hinder my business, then I'm not going to hire them. So is that racist? No, because I'm looking for the most qualified people.
Well, I hear what you're saying. You know, we didn't make up a capitalist system, and so I understand what you're saying. And it was capitalism that hired slaves for no money. It was capitalism that had the indentured servants. All of that has been the base idea that I want to make money no matter what. You know, no matter who it hurts, no matter what happens, I want to make money. And that's the most important, for me to make money and for my stockholders to get dividends. And that idea has not led to the sustainability that we need to run a country, especially a country where the people have been so robbed of their culture. And even if the schools are not doing their jobs, we have to also look at the fact that many of the parents are not trained to do theirs either. As I said, by taking that home economics out of the school system, which taught you about nutrition and how to put a diaper on a baby and how to take care of your family and how to be a wife and mother, when those classes were all pulled from the school system, as I said, what is a girl supposed to do? They can't no longer just go to the post office and work. They can't just always go and become an RN. They can't go and teach anymore because all those systems are shutting down and reducing their number of employees. So I'm still talking about, who is this job god that everybody keeps waiting on that's going to show up and give every Negro a job? And then on top of that, our young people are not even trained of how to fill out an application or how to go and apply for a job, how to dress in a certain manner to look professional, and how to do their job and keep their mouth shut and not need a break every 5 minutes. It's a whole lot that goes into knowing how to work. It's not just saying, here's a job. A job is not just a solution to the problem of the so-called Negro. We have to get ourselves in a more upright position to be able to function, to do anything. Doesn't matter what it is, or nobody wants us around.
All right, Sister Shahrazad Ali with us, and someone wants to know, what do you think of Jesse Lee Peterson? You ever heard of him?
Oh, he's a friend of mine. I know Jesse. Jesse got his start back in the day. He got on a few shows with me. See, people don't know. Everybody that was on every show, I approved of them. So I gave a lot of people a start in their careers that would have never been out here about anything, you know. Jesse is a Republican. He is not a bad person, but he has become hypnotized by white people. He thinks he got equality.
Yeah.
He thinks that we live in a meritocracy and that all you have to do is work hard and you can be successful. Well, we know today that that's not true.
Right.
There's a lot of people who have worked hard their entire life, and they might be flipping pizzas with a PhD. So it's just not the truth. It just doesn't work that way anymore. As I say, how strong is the foundation? Can we survive? This country was built on a weak foundation, and it will go out on the same weak one.
All right, Original Freddie.
Hey, keep your eyes on Jerusalem. And sister, thank you very much for being on the Lincoln Ware Show today. And also, in your leisure time, I don't know if you've read Miles Davis' autobiography, and I say this in the Red Fox story, Black and Blue, in your leisure time, okay?
I wish I had some leisure time, brother, but I hear you. If I ever run across them, I will.
Well, don't run across them. Make sure you read them 2 books, okay? And then also, see, and I'm going to say this, have you ever listened to Prophet Stair out of Waterbury, South Carolina?
To who?
Prophet Stair out of Waterbury, South Carolina.
No, sir, I don't think I have.
Well, you'd be so kind. He's on AM every night.
Well, I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm not looking for the truth because I already got it. And so, it's not that I can't hear somebody else's view, but I'm not looking to none of the other slaves to tell me what to think or how to feel about it.
I'm just talking to you, too, because I know the truth, so there's no difference in that part, you know. So thanks for taking my call.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Freddie, thanks for your call. All right, let's see. We need to take a break first, and then we'll come back and take more of your calls. Elam, Dion, John, Ozzy, and others holding on. Shahrazad Ali is my guest for the next 15 minutes, so you better call in and keep your questions brief and to the point. No commentaries, please. 1230 WDBZ, the buzz of Cincinnati. Lincoln Ware with you. Shahrazad Ali, my guest, and we were just talking. I asked her, could her son swim, and she said yes. And I said, that's good, you know, because so many of these young kids now don't know how to swim. Their parents don't know how to swim. They fall in the water. All they can do is look at them.
That's right, and that's just got to be the worst nightmare for any parent. But what I was saying, and I wanted to get near closure with, was that there are some solutions that we can teach at home, and this can be done by the parents, the uncles, the aunts, the older sisters and brothers, just anybody. But if you have children and grandchildren, nieces and nephews, there's some basic things to maintain civilization that our children must know how to do to survive, no matter who they're with and where they're around, whether they have a job or not. They must know these things in order to maintain their dignity. They need to know how to read and count, use personal hygiene, wash the dishes, how to use a vacuum, excuse me, cook food, wash and dry clothes, have table manners, shop in the grocery store, a meal, not at shop off the dollar menu, fill out money orders and checks. Now, that's important because I get money orders I have in the past from people who sign the money order on the front and the back. Because ain't nobody ever taught them how to do that. Pump gas, how to put out the trash, separate the recycles, change the bed and sweep, use a computer, do minor first aid, and swim. That was on there. Now, if your child know how to do those basic things, they can survive in the world. They can go into adulthood feeling competent, that they know how to do something. Because the more you learn how to do, the more confidence you have in yourself. That this boy I got that's 12, I've been imparting all of those things to him. I'm teaching him more about cooking now and everything, so that he can feed himself. I don't want him dependent upon anyone to come in and give him something to eat, and him not know how to prepare a meal, not just go order one and pay somebody else.
And I noticed when you introduced me to him, he walked over to me, shook my hand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, so that said a lot right there.
Yes, sir, it does. Everywhere I go, when we were at the flea market up on Saturday, I know at least 5 different women and men stopped me to tell me what a mannerable young man, intelligent young man he was.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can.
I put the time in to give him that, to teach him that. Now that will take him far. And that's what I've explained to him, like mother children. If you learn how to be civilized and dignified and refined, you will be able to be successful, and people will help you. They don't have to know you. Like I say, strangers come over at a dinner table. We in a restaurant. Come over and say, we just were listening to your son. And they'll come over and tell me about that. So he don't have a big head about it because he know he didn't get it from himself.
Right.
You know? He go to school with children who also didn't get nothing, you know. So he understands about that. But I work hard because I want him to be successful, and I'm an older parent. So he got to be able to go on. He got to be able to be self-sufficient and be able to be sustainable for himself.
All right, Dion.
Hey, how you doing, Lincoln?
Pretty good.
Greetings to your guest, sister, your breath of fresh air. I would like to say I enjoyed your book, Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman.
Yes, sir.
And that book, every different black woman I dated, you described in that book. The working class black woman, the educated professional style, the church going, the welfare mother. I mean,
well, which one did you like the best of all those women?
Ooh, man, it's hard to say, man, 'cause they all have some issues going on.
Yeah, you liked all of them. Just some of them maybe not that right, but you liked all of them.
Yeah, oh yeah. But you're the best guest Lincoln had on this show in a long time, and come back again.
Well, I thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your call, Dion. Let's go to Elin. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Elim?
Yeah, it's Elam Sarai. Thank you, Lincoln, for taking my call. I wanted to say to Miss Ali, thank you for coming on Lincoln Ware. I'm pleased that our people are tuned in listening to you, and I agree with most of all of what you're saying. But I just wanted to add that and give credit to Yahweh that these conditions our people are facing are a result of the perfect curses that he recorded in Deuteronomy 28. And our people not keeping the laws that's written there. And I noticed that you have wrote a book about eating pork and how not to eat pork. And that was a result of a law that he gave us in Leviticus 11:7, and that you prosper from that book. And I wanted to also say that our people could learn from your example by listening to his laws so that we can turn back and keep the laws of Yahweh.
Thank you, sister.
Okay, and you have a blessed day. And everybody that's listening out there, Mr. and Mrs. Black people, we are here under that curse.
Thanks for your
need
call.
to keep the law.
All right, thanks for you. And she sounded like a Hebrew Israelite. What do you think of the Hebrew Israelites?
I think that all of us have the right to believe whatever we want to believe. It will all be tested, regardless of what we believe.
Do you believe anywhere close to what they believe?
Well, I'm not really sure what they believe.
Yeah, right.
I believe in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay, not Farrakhan, not all of the other people that's out there. I believe in what he taught, and that's my foundation of learning. And that's what I believe, but I don't know. Mix. See, the problem of mixed instructions is when you try to take a lot of things from other groups and put it all in there, you know. And almost all of the Muslims have a copy of the Quran and the Bible. But most of the Christians only have a copy of the Bible. And, you know, we got some doubts about who put that together. So to quote me anything out of the Bible, I would have to see where that came from and what that was about, because I don't just believe the Bible because white people say this is a holy book.
All right, let's go to John. John, how you doing?
How you doing, Lincoln Ware? How you doing?
All right.
All right. As you know, I've called several times. Listen, I have a question for Miss Ali. You were talking about interracial dating. Well, I have another question for you. I see this more often in black people to be adopted, interracial adoptions.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
I'm a white blind person. I listen to all kinds of radio, and I see this with mixed marriages or interracial adoptions. I know the kids need homes. I know they need care, but...
Well, you know, we live in a time now where we live in a time when all evil is made fair seeming, because what he's talking about is, you know, at one time, the social workers, black social workers, were against interracial adoptions. And because they were getting their money from the government and everything, they were forced, because of the homosexual agenda, to change that so that now the gay people can adopt little black children, and all kind of white people can adopt little black children. In fact, that's the new pet now. A lot of the entertainers have adopted them a little black baby. That's the new pet.
But, okay, if a kid's going to grow up into a nice home, loving...
As I say, they make evil fair seeming. And how do you know they're growing up in a nice home, loving? Just because the people up front look like they got money or something. You can't trust them. You can't tell me that no bunch of white men sitting around no little black girls while she's growing up is not going to get an idea. Okay? There ain't no such history of that. And on top of that, where's the black man that adopted the little white girl? When have they allowed that to happen? You ain't never going to see that.
You don't see that.
You're not going to see that. See, the white woman and white people, they can fall to the lowest of low. But the white man will insist that you respect her and her children. It's not the same in our community. We're willing to give our children to anybody, so we don't have to deal with it and take that responsibility for ourselves. You got thousands of children right here in this town who could stand to live in a foster care situation, even if it was 2 or 3 days a week. You got a bunch of sorry black women who don't want to take care of no child. I'm through with that. I'm finished. You are never finished with raising a nation. That's how I got a 12-year-old at my age. You never finish raising the nation. And if there's something we can do, we need to do it.
All right. Lemuel. How you doing, Lemuel? Lemuel. He's gone. Brother X.
Brother Lee.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, black man. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there.
And greetings to your guest, Sister Ali.
Yes, sir.
Sister Ali, I got a question for you. What is your opinion on the Commander-in-Chief, that being President Obama, in his definitive support for the gays and lesbians, the so-called Jews of Israel, as well as white women, but have yet to definitively support the African-American Negro, even though we have given him 60 to 70% of our vote that put him in office? What is your opinion on that?
Well, I am one who believes that all politics is local. And I don't think that politics is going to solve the problems of the black community. Whether Obama win or lose, it's not going to change our life in that big of a definitive way. We've lived up under other white people, so if we have another white president, we'll just be living up under them, you know. Now we're living up under a black president run by white people, so, you know, this doesn't matter. In that way, it's not that big of a change. But I don't think anything about that. He wasn't going to never be king of the United States. He's the president of the United States. And therefore, he is taking his same instructions from all them 60, 70, 80, and 90-year-old white men that's been running the country for the past 80 years. And so it doesn't longer than that, really, you know. So it doesn't matter. He's a nice brother. He's got a wonderful family. And that example, I think, is better than anything. That he has a beautiful black wife. He didn't get no high, yellow, straight-haired woman. He got a sister. And I think that was wonderful. He got children. He got his mother-in-law living with him. He ought to deserve something just for that. How many of y'all want to live with your mother-in-law, you know? And so I think he's just, you know, a beautiful brother, but I don't have any confidence in any decision he going to make that's going to affect my life.
Yeah. Ozzy, real quick, final caller.
To Sister Ali, I want to say that I appreciate, respect, and admire you.
Thank you, brother.
But the thing that I want to communicate with you and ask you about is, again, education. Now, to me, there's been three phases of educating the black man in this country. One is to educate him into slavery, then to the industrial complex, and now into the prison industrial complex. And isn't then, therefore, most important, the educating of our children? Because what we want to be able to foresee in our minds and in our hearts is the future for our children.
Yes, sir. Listen, wait a minute. I hear you. Before you give that testimony, let me say this. I think that everybody who talks about the education of our children should go and volunteer 1 hour a month at a public school in the 5th, 6th, or 7th grade. All of that about they not teaching our children not being taught the right thing. Go up in there and spend some time and see what the deal is and what you're working with. We must take some responsibility for that. White people don't send their children to us to educate them. The other white people, Jewish people, they don't send their children to the public school to get educated. The Indian children, the Arab children, they don't send them to the Caucasians to educate them, because everybody's supposed to stand up for their own version of their history. And so we do need to do that, but I think that that's our job. As I said, I teach my child at home. I'm not counting on them to teach him how to read, count, or spell.
All right, Shahrazad Ali, always good to see you.
Well, this was wonderful. And
give that phone number out once again.
221-2411. And you all can get the hidden colors. And don't buy all all of them bootleg videos they have stole from me. Y'all supposed to be so black. Then don't buy the bootleg videos that some other black people have stole from me. You know, we steal so hard from each other.
Yeah.
We don't go up in the white community and steal from them. Y'all come down there in North Avondale, steal from me.
All right, there you go. Shahrazad Ali, good to see you. Thanks for coming by today. We appreciate it. And,
yes, sir.
By the way, you'll be on my show a week from Sunday.
Your television show.
Yeah.
Yes,
my
sir.
TV show.
All right.
All
A
right.
week from Sunday.
All
Okay.
right. 221-241.